Oké, welkom terug bij SRL voor race 14 hier van seizoen 8. Ik ben net terug van wintersport en er was nog een game update. Maar gelukkig ben ik net op tijd om nog te kunnen joinen. Je kan zien dat de kwalificatie is begonnen. Alleen heb ik een quali-ban doordat ik helemaal terug in Monaco nog Senna in de weg zat. Wat uiteindelijk helemaal hier naartoe is gesleept. Omdat er vervolgens in Jeddah in de quali ook weer een ongeluk veroorzaakte. En in Hongarije er niet bij was omdat ik daar het commentaar deed. Dus ja, we hebben nog een quali-ban. Dus wanneer tijd dat ik een stukje van de quali heb gemist. Want ik ga maar niet het risico nemen om de baan op te gaan. Denk ik. Maar ja, ik ben heel erg blij dat ik op tijd ben voor de race. Dus ik zal even in de party gaan met Joe en Max. En dan kunnen we beginnen. Hey,
Hallo.
gelukkig gehaald.
Hoe
Nick,
krijg je het toch over voor elkaar?
jij gaat echt lachend aankomende anderhalf uur.
Ja, inderdaad. Ik was er nog wel even een beetje bang voor dat het te lang zou duren. Vooral toen ik de melding kreeg dat ik daar op zich had voor de update. En ik niet wist hoe het lang zou duren. Maar gelukkig viel het mee.
Het was echt een lange update, hè? En dat allemaal voor één auto.
Mijn update was echt binnen een seconde klaar.
Ja, mijn ook. Maar Nick
Oh.
is niet.
Hè?
Nou ja, het kopiëren duurde bij mij wel lang. Nou, niet heel lang, maar gewoon wel een minuut of 10 of zo. Ja, misschien is mijn PS4 gewoon een beetje oud.
De
Kut!
tijd van een PS5. Wat heb je gedaan?
Niks.
Trouwens, ik ben even vergeten een setup te pakken. Zal ik even lief naar thuis gaan of hebben jullie misschien wat?
Nee, je moet naar mijn stream gaan, daar staat hij wel in beeld.
Oké. En ik zat ook te denken, ik heb natuurlijk echt gewoon heel erg lang niet meer gereden. Zal ik het risico nemen om de baan op te gaan of zal ik gewoon echt binnen blijven?
Binnen.
Want ik ben wel maar één warding van een racebaan af, dus ik weet niet of ik naar buiten durf.
Nee, blijf maar binnen. Lekker veilig.
Ja, oké. Maar dan ga ik wel een beetje koud te
Ja, maar-
racen.
Ja, maar maakt niet uit. Wie is dan die andere waarvan we dachten dat het Nick was buiten?
Weet ik niet.
Apart. Ah, iemand is afgeknapt.
Oh my god.
Wat een noob. Nick, vandaag gaat echt grappig zijn met Joer, die nog onder invloed is.
Oh ja, van Ecstasy.
Ja.
Het is echt wel...
Wat voel je
ik
dan
heb
nog?
geen brandstof meer. Iedereen zit zonder benzine volgens mij.
Ja, ik had 0,3 laps over naar de...
Iedereen
Maar-
gaat zo slow.
Ik heb mijn tong verbrand, maar ik weet niet waar aan wat. Ik snap oprecht niet
Misschien
waarom.
ook aan je pilletje. Nou, ik denk dat je iets warms hebt gedronken dan. Of gegeten. Of je tong in de oven hebt gestopt. Ik weet het
Oh, ik ga weer bijna tegen een muurtje bij de pits.
Shit man, ik heb met de 160 mijn lap invalidate. Oh, knap.
Oh.
Oh, Jure.
Oh.
Mooi save.
Jongens, wie pakte vanmiddag pol? Geen.
Om heel eerlijk te zijn, ik heb nog niks gevolgd van dit.
Ik ook niet.
seizoen.
Omdat ik op windsport
Ik
was. Like, ik ben echt zo onder een steen geleefd. Goed Nederlands.
Maar we kunnen toch gewoon
Buiten
iemand
Nederland.
gokken.
Het is zo onder een steen geleefd.
Ja, ik realiseerde me ook halverwege die zin dat het niet echt ging kloppen. Maar ja.
Maar we kunnen best even iemand gokken. Oké, Jure, wie denk jij?
Welke baan is het?
Canada. Canada.
Nee.
Bahrein.
Het is... Hij is
Ja.
Melbourne.
Ja. Dat weet ik niet.
Oké, jij denkt Verstappen. Ik hoor
Ja.
mijn stem. Oké, Niek, wie denk jij?
Leclerc.
Oké, ik denk Alonso.
Ik wou die zeggen, maar ik denk het niet.
Jawel, ik denk Alonso. Die hebben hun auto zo illegaal gemaakt ineens.
Ja, die eerste wordt dus wees zo snel. Dat is wel een beetje verdacht.
Als die
Wel cool.
Alonso pole pakt. Ik hoor. Kom vechten.
Is deze baan altijd al zo hobbelig of is het erger
Ja.
geworden deze game?
Zeg op elk spel.
Oh.
Op mijn vorige spellen, toen die G29 nog had ik letterlijk de force feedback laag gezet, omdat dat ding zo tyfus veel lawaai maakte hier.
Heb je de banddruk zo laag, Max? Hou je dat voor de race
Ja,
ook?
ja, dat moet. Anders niet leuk met spinnen. Iedereen heeft op het laagste als het goed is. Sommige mensen hebben maar één tikje omhoog of zo, maar ja, dat is fucked up. Hoe ga je het allemaal bijna op het laagste en toen spinde ik zo makkelijk.
Ik wil echt naar buiten, maar ik moet denk gewoon de risico
Nee, doe maar niet. Straks ga je nog mensen blokkeren. Nee,
Ja, maar het is wel een
gevaarlijk.
lange baan.
Nee, maar wel gevaarlijk.
Ja, maar ik heb letterlijk gewoon niet gereden. Het is veel te raar.
Ik wil wat zeggen, maar dat doe ik me niet op stream. Je moet meer dingen wel niet langer rijden.
Aha.
Dat verstond ik niet eens.
Nee, dat maakt niet uit. Hoeft ook niet. Oh, het leven is zo sloom zonder met tractiecontrole aan. Het is kut. Dan ben je gewend aan zonde, maar je
Ja,
hebt nog niet vertrouwen om volledig te gaan
nou ja.
met zonde. Dus dan ga je maar weer met en dan voel je je weer zo sloom. Maar ja, hoort bij het leven.
Kut, ik heb geen brandstof meer.
Is het ook niet echt dicht bij de pit?
Nee, ik ben helemaal geen begin.
Ik had het ook ergens op dat rechte stuk.
Wel mooi
We
al,
gaan.
oranje met die Nederlandse driekleur erop.
Gaan we even pol pakken hier met deze lap.
Oké, het is nu heel druk. Misschien is het zo rustig. Is het ook gewoon even
Nee,
een
nee, 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 nee,
installatieronde.
nee. Nee, blijf maar binnen.
Ja, maar ook
Veiligheid
gewoon
voor-
om een setup te
gevaarlijk,
saven.
gevaarlijk, gevaarlijk.
Wat is de volgende baan eigenlijk? Monza. Ja, oké.
Ja, daar ga ik een raceman pakken.
Ja, nee, ik misschien ook. Als ik
Ik
nu
ga
iets
gewoon-
doe.
Ik ga gewoon over de lijn kruisen, dus ik volgende week in Assen. Ja,
Wat is het doen als eigenlijk?
niks. Nou, niet
Leuk.
heel veel, gewoon training. Godverdomme. Tyfusbaan.
Oh, ik ben nog steeds niet terug.
Oh, dat
Ja, het is een lange baan. En,
2 minuten 20
Zonder
over
veel.
waarschijnlijk. Voor een lap zonder.
Maar hoe kan dit? Dit spel zegt dat ik nu 200 km per uur ga, maar als ik met 80 over de weg rijd, dan voelt het sneller dan dit. Ik geloof niet dat het 190 km per uur is.
Geloof ik eigenlijk
Een
ook.
auto gaat toch veel sneller dan dit?
Ja,
ben ik
het
nog
ziet er
gek?
fucking slow uit.
ik wil ook omdat het gewoon een game is. Dat het langzaam voelt.
Ja.
Oh mijn god!
Oh, dat voelt echt
Maar-
heel erg.
Oh mijn god!
Niet gedaan.
Nee! Wil iemand mij alsjeblieft een Mongool noemen?
Huh, hoe sta je daar, Max? Je staat midden op de racelijn.
Pitlane ingang.
Oh. Maar je staat midden op de baan. Christine moest om je heen rijden.
Waarschijnlijk zijn auto eruit getekend.
Ja, die is er nog
Ja.
rijdt
Oh mijn god.
Oh, Max. Jammer dat je niet spectate, ik was naar Jura aan het kijken.
Oh mijn god. Ik zie Jorgen zo voor me de pitlane ingaan. Ik dacht, ik ga gewoon lekker achter hem aan. Bam.
Ik zit 4 seconden van de... Jezus. Oh. Wanneer zal ik weer naar buiten gaan?
Nu.
Nu?
Ja, nu.
Oké.
Die tipsuit, what happened?
Okay, let's go.
Pitwall. Oh, pitlane. En...
Oké, ik doe puur even een installatieronde. Ik ga geen vliegende ronde zetten of wat dan ook. Ik ga gewoon naar buiten naar binnen. Dat is ook een beetje rustig.
Nee, Nick, nee! Nick!
Jawel,
Nick, doe het!
ik moet
Oké,
ook
Nick,
mijn
nee,
pedaal
doe het.
kalibreren en zo. Ja, dat kan ik wel doen.
Ik zit achter je.
Oké. Ja, mijn stuur staat niet eens aan.
Haha, lekker Nick! Nick! Wat doe jij? Johan,
Ja.
report hem, dan krijg je niet race ben.
Bro, Nick.
Heb je schade?
Ja.
Ja, dit is...
Johan, beter ga je deze reporten.
Ik mis een van mijn vleugels.
Ah, sorry. Ja, dat is dus waar ik naar buiten wil gaan, omdat dat soort dingen altijd gebeuren als ik lang niet heb gereden.
Okay, damage to the rear wing. You've got damage to your rear wing. Suggest we box to repair it.
Niet je weet dat je sowieso een race bent.
Sorry, jongen.
Je hebt sowieso een race
In a
bent.
bad way, I'm afraid.
Maar mijn stuur is er wel aan, alleen hij was gewoon nog niet geconnect, zeg maar.
Ik vind het zo mooi.
Ja, sorry dat ik nu je laatste run heb verpest.
Niet echt zo van, zou ik naar buiten gaan? Is wel gevaarlijk. Wij zeggen allemaal nee, hij zegt ik ga het toch doen. Kruist hij meteen weg. Johan zijn vleugel af. En heeft hij waarschijnlijk nu in Monza bij.
Ja, dat spijt me echt zo erg, want ik had je echt station willen geven, maar goed.
Ik vind dit veel te leuk.
Als je heel snel bent, zou je er nog een ronde kunnen doen? Ik denk het niet.
Nee,
Ik geloof niet.
Damage.
hij gaat die nooit
A lot
halen.
of oversteer unless we
Hij
really
rijdt
want
achter
it.
jou. Wat een kill die niet, joh. Je tegen dat muurtje links knalde ik niet. En... Oh, ja, mooi laat pitcall. Oh. Ja, gelukkig was die muur niet kan. Wacht, zou ik op WhatsApp sturen wat er gebeurde?
Ja, is goed.
Even screen.
En dan moet ik nog wachten op Nico ook, hè, bij de fucking kut.
Jorgen, oprecht, je moet een report, dat zou grappig zijn. Oh, wat een... Wat, ja, nee, maar het gaat voor ons allemaal soepel
Het
hier.
spijt me echt heel erg, jongen.
Sukkel.
Spijt me.
Ja, weet ik. Alsof gewoon letterlijk de eerste meter die ik rijd, alsof het meteen fout gaat.
Kijk op WhatsApp.
Dat is ook wel langzaam.
Ik ga hem ook in SRL sturen. Sandige P3. En die Manuelito weer tweede. Fysisch kut. Die naam is tyfus tryhard, hè. Kun je niet jouw tryhard kennis van F1 van is P10 binnen of buitenkant? Start.
Dat is eigenlijk een goede vraag.
Jongen.
Maar ik weet het
hoe
niet.
je dat niet?
Binnenkant toch?
Ik weet niet waar P1 start.
Wacht even, P1 is links. Zeg maar buitenkant.
Normaal
Dus
gezien, als je een normale baan hebt, hoort de P1 aan de binnenkant te starten. Maar dat is bijna op geen enkele baan.
nee, bijna altijd is P1 links. Of buitenkant.
Ja, maar dat is toch eigenlijk apart?
Ja, eigenlijk wel. Dus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dan is 10 binnenkant.
Kut! Dan moet iemand vies hard naar links. Door de buitenkant.
Zo, Logan.
Logan, wat een tryharder.
Alsof ik niet eens een meter kan rijden voordat het fout gaat. Dat is echt ongelooflijk.
Ik wil vol om een afwezigheid hebben in Monza waarschijnlijk.
Ja, ik weet niet, maar hier kon ik like... Ja,
Je
ik kon er
kon
wat
hier
aan doen.
heel veel aan doen, want jij hebt een kwalie bent.
Ja, maar letterlijk, ik deed dit om te voorkomen dat het in de race gebeurt. Ik wil gewoon weten dat alle settings goed stonden.
Nee.
En dat mijn stuur gekalibreerd was en zo, wat het niet was.
Jorgen wel gezellig achter in het veld, hè?
Ja.
Met 2 plekjes van elkaar vandaan. Als Bengel gaat.
Oh, sorry Joren. Joren, ik had je echt willen helpen, maar... Ja,
Cap.
ik kan niks.
Hele grote cap.
Nee, oprecht. Ik had echt in mijn hoofd om gewoon je slipstream te geven in de volgende ronde.
Cap. Hoe wou je dat doen? Want je ging
Ja, maar-
maar naar buiten en naar binnen.
Ja, omdat ik toch niks meer
Dus
te
je
doen
wou
had, want
nog
Joren
een lap
schade
buiten
had.
blijven.
Ja,
Ja, nee, je bent gevaarlijk niet.
weet ik, maar ik kon niks aan doen. Mijn stuur was gewoon niet
man.
gekalibreerd.
Niks persoonlijks, maar je hebt echt nog even bij nodig om hiervan te leren natuurlijk.
Nee,
Jawel,
dat
ik
denk
ga
je
dit
aan jezelf.
reporten. Ik ga dit reporten voor Joren.
Nou, we zien wel.
Realistisch. Haas, Alpine, Alfa, Alfa Tauri, Ferrari, Haas, Alfa Tauri, Williams, Alfa, Mercedes. Oh, ik kan dit nu al niet meer serieus nemen vandaag. Nick, had je op WhatsApp gekeken naar mijn crash?
Nee.
Doe even snel. Hij is echt leuk, je gaat lachen. Je gaat meer lachen dan als een kabouter van een gebouw al valt.
Ja, nee, mijn telefoon is 1%.
Laat hem. Ja, ik sta wel links. Jullie kunnen allemaal niet tellen.
Oh,
Ik sta P11, kan ook.
oké, ik ga het nu bekijken.
Nee, ik sta P10.
Oh ja, dat muurtje, ja, dat is naar.
Mooi hè?
Dat kostte mij in de 12 uur race in Spa hier op Podcast 2 de overwinning.
Welke band pakken jullie?
Medium.
Weet ik niet. Wat de game mij vertelt.
Ah,
Oh, ik heb mijn brandstof niet veranderd. Tyfus.
lekker man. Jij bent echt goed. Ik denk dat jij gaat winnen vandaag. Oh, ik ben zo moe. Even het pitmuurtje.
Ik denk niet dat ik deze race ga finishen.
Ik weet zeker dat jij dat niet gaat doen, nee.
Ik kan
Niks
niet eens naar de
persoonlijks
kaart.
hoor.
Ik kan niet eens de kaart zien.
Oh, antistal.
Oh, 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 oh.
Wat doe jij?
Ik zie jullie helemaal heen en weer gaan.
Nou, mijn banden zijn warm.
Dat is fijn. Oh! Vloog hem al bijna.
Dat is niet slim.
Zeg dat wel, ja. Link vandaag niemand inhalen tijdens de safety car gaan.
Nee. Als ik niet hiervoor race ben, dan zal het wel daarvoor zijn.
Hoeveel durven jullie te wedden dat er een gigantische crash in bocht 1 komt?
Zoals 3 jaar geleden.
Ja, het jaar daarvoor, het jaar daarvoor. Dus we hebben nog nooit een race gedaan op Spa waar geen crash was gebeurd.
Jongen, hij door vieze kut Italiaan man. Ga lekker pasta eten man.
Oh.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
Moet die banden opwarmen nu. Tim is gespind in de laatste bocht. Lekker Tim.
Oh, Dion.
Je kan door elkaar heen.
Kut. Ik ben 1,5 meter overheen gegaan.
Okay, incredible parking there. Nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you...
Dit gaat wel
Oké,
worden.
succes.
Je wordt wel 1,5 meter eerder gaan dan dat je nu heen bocht 1.
Ja. Holy shit, ik wil een goede start.
Hey! Ik heb nu al vloerschade. Oh, amateurtjes.
Nee! Kom! Fucking kut!
Ik ben eruit. Fucking hell.
Nee, de fucking...
Ah,
Wat gebeurt?
wauw.
Wat een fucking mogol. Gaat die remmen in fucking Eau Rouge. Terwijl ik
Ik-
achter hem zit.
Ongelooflijk.
Wat een mogolen, man.
Ik wist dat ik eigenlijk meer moest afremmen daar, maar ik zag gewoon niks.
Ben je eruit?
Ja, ik ben eruit.
Oh, dat had ik niet eens door.
Dus, die geeft een good rate en een
Ah, wauw. Wat een raar gevoel.
Wat is er gebeurd dan?
Ja, opeens was er gewoon één grote botsing in Eau Rouge en ik kon nergens meer heen.
Ja, dat komt dat... wie was dat? Iemand een aap. Die reed voor mij en die ging gewoon vol op zijn remtrap midden in Eau Rouge.
En wie ga je er voor jou?
Ja, dat weet ik niet meer. Voor mij was het Jess. Nee, ik weet
Ik weet niet, maar er was wel in ieder geval een koe die dacht laten we 3 wijd gaan en Max helemaal bijbeuken waardoor die
Ja,
vloer
dat zag ik. Ik zat vlak achter jullie. Ik had echt een tering goede start. Maar
Dit
ja,
voelt echt zo raar dat ik er gewoon nu uit ben.
welkom in mijn wereld.
Ik heb erg een goede wedstrijd. Ik quali ben, kruist iemand eruit met zijn quali ben. Nou, tenminste, geeft schade.
Oh, wauw.
Daarna, even kijken. Oh ja, daarna doet hij de restart. Nou, ik dacht wel goed ging te gaan. Nou, kruist hij er na 2 bochten uit. Wat een meme.
Dit voelt echt zo raar. Ik was echt voorbereid om gewoon een race te hebben. En toen is het... Oh, jee.
Hoe bedoel je was voorbereid?
Ja, ik bedoel zeg maar in mijn hoofd.
Je stuur geen eens aan.
Nee, weet ik, maar ik bedoel, ik ben letterlijk meteen eruit.
Ik heb volledige voorvleugel.
Ja, Juri, je had geluk dat je er ook uit was, denk ik hoor.
Oh.
Maar Nick, hoe bedoel je voorbereid?
Nou, mentaal voorbereid.
Ik wil wel zeggen, op de baan niet.
Nee.
Geen setup. Ik ga er geen eens over beginnen.
Oh, ik dacht, hoezo heb ik 100% ERS, maar ik heb het gewoon niet aangezet.
Maar je hebt het ook niet nodig gehad, hè?
Nee, weet ik. Maar ik weet niet, er zijn heel veel baas dat mijn ERS niet omlaag ging. Het stond gewoon uit.
Ook al die mensen die uit de pitlane komen, zie je op de map zo gaan. Oh, die safety car gaat echt slow.
Waarom staat er rechtsonder op een kilometer per uur een tekentje van een brandstof?
Omdat het safety car is.
Oh.
Ik sta altijd. Nee man, het is eigenlijk dat je te weinig benzine hebt. Dat deed je net deze. Hey man, Nick, je hebt in ieder geval 2 bochten kunnen doen.
Ja, ik heb... Ja... Echt ongelooflijk.
Waarschijnlijk kan je eens wat er gebeurd is op mijn stream.
Ja. Het voelde al, zeg maar, ik ging op een roesje en ik lift al een beetje, maar ik had gewoon echt volledig moeten afremmen. Maar ja, je ziet gewoon niks daar.
Hey Nick, wil je nog wat leuks weten?
Vertel.
Ik ben in een league gejoind en ik heb net even voor we begonnen gekeken hoeveel mensen er op het vinkje hadden geklikt. Doe eens een gokje.
4.
Gewoon goed. Hoe weet jij dit?
Ja, gewoon lucky guess.
Ah, jij bent die NPC in de server. Ah. 4 mensen, dus ik zeg easy podium. Want eerst waren er 3, toen 4 erbij. Ik zeg nu wordt het wel lastig.
Oh man, ik vind het... Het is echt zo raar dat ik gewoon... Dat ik naar 2 bochten eruit ben. Dat heb ik echt helemaal nooit. Ja, de laatste keer was Sochi, seizoen 5.
Ja, toen was het nog voor bocht 1. Toen ben de kut geen eens afgekomen.
Ja, dat was de enige andere keer dat ik ooit in de eerste ronde ben gecrashed.
Oh, dat was echt een meme.
Ja, dit ook.
Oké. Nou...
Was je erbij?
Nee, denk ik niet. Dat was mijn eerste podium. En Nick, die kruiste eerst in de eerste lap al. Nou, daarna een restart, want er was iets niet goed in de lobby ofzo. Nou, toen nog opnieuw de start. En Nick, Dion en was nog iemand, er waren jullie met z'n tweeën.
En jij?
Ja, maar jullie twee, ja, en nog één. Ze werden een beetje dicht bij elkaar gestreden. En die 2 kruisen nemen ze mij mee. DNF, DNF, ik kon doorgaan. Dus ik naar de pits. En ik pak medium band. Daar wou ik nog gewoon op uitrijden. En denk ik nog een keer safety car pakken. Maar dat was zo mooi dat hij niet gewoon 2 keer in lap 1 crashte. Daar heb ik echt om moeten lachen. Ik persoonlijk.
Ja, dat snap ik wel.
Je safety car gaat naar binnen, denk ik. Oh, een safety car lap ben je zo 2,5 minuut bezig op deze baan.
Ik ga denk de commentaar booth in met Lance. Ja, dan heb ik nog wat te doen.
Is dat Logan?
Logan, ja.
Fuck.
Alright, schrik jullie zo wel naar de race. Ja, dat kan ook. Ja, dat zie ik dan wel. Later succes met de restart.
Is Nick Van Gelder finally joining us after his misfortune as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Coming down the back straightaway towards the bus stop chicane. Now, if Logan was, well, looks like Logan's going to get going early. Guns it into the bus stop and then gets going. We'll see if Friab Belay can keep pace with him. Niccolo Falzarezzi with a good restart over top of Friab. A couple of guys jockeying for position down the short chute into the hairpin. You see Sandro Doili's running in sixth. He's got Max Mulder behind him. Single file. Oh, looks like somebody had a big off almost. Was that Sandro? Sandro lost the back end of the car almost. And that's allowed Max to close the gap, and a 3-second time penalty for Luke Smith already in this race. And looks like we've got Christian Dorman and Vincenzo Torri battling it out. That is for the 9th position as Christian Dorman gets in front of him. Meanwhile, Luke Smith to the inside of Dion Stahl. I try to get these cameras to work in my favor. So Luke has worked himself into the top 10 with a 3-second time penalty. And we're going to go back to the battle for 5th. And Nick, I know this is not how you wanted your race weekend to go, but give us a little insight as to what happened there. Too many cars in one spot?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, I didn't want to interfere with the commentary, but yeah, it's very disappointing to crash it so early on. But yeah, of course I started at the back because I had a qualifying ban, which was still carried over all the way from Monaco. And I came up to Eau Rouge. I actually lifted off because I could already sense that there was something going on in front of me. But then suddenly I came over the top of the hill and I saw a couple of cars in front of me. I had nowhere to go and I just smashed into it. I think I hit a car and then I smashed into the wall and yeah, I just had nowhere to go and that ended my race. So a very weird feeling to go into a race and end it so early on already after 2 corners. But yeah, it is what it is, and that's how racing can go sometimes.
Yeah, definitely not how... Oh, and Tim Ventic retired from the session. Oh no. My lord, and that was at the top of Radion. So Tim Ventic's championship contention just took a huge blow as we ride along with Christian Dorman in the 9th spot. Oh, and Dorman's going around! Oh, and he backs it into the wall.
Wow, lots of incidents happening early on. Cameron Weston
Edwards has left the session. Oh, he was already
out
in the crash earlier.
Yeah. But crucially, Tim Benting out of the session. I didn't catch it. I'm not sure if you did, but that's of course that can have a big influence on the championship with Logan Ron leading the way so far.
Well, Logan was a half-second clear of everybody in qualifying. He's 1.5 seconds out in front. I said it before we went back to green. This is going to be Logan's race to lose. No pressure, really. I mean, he can just go out there and run. He's so much quicker than these other guys. And right now, Friab Belay and Niccolo Falzarezzi are battling it out almost side by side heading into the bus stop. And you know as well as I do, the more these guys fight with each other, the further and further Logan is going to pull away. And he just ran the fastest lap of this race.
And yeah, it looks like Tim Venting did lose his car on his own. He said that he had a lot of dirt here and his old downforce just went away on the top of the hill and he lost it and went into the wall. Very unfortunate for the Dutchman because he's of course in that big championship fight with his teammate Logan Ron, and this is gonna lose him a lot of points in the championship.
And now the DRS has finally been enabled. Looks like Niccolo Falzarezzi is going to be able to blow by Friab Belay down the Kemmel Straight. Unbelievable the speed difference that Niccolo had going into that corner. So that separates them. It's probably your closest battle on track. There is a battle going on with Luke Smith and Vincenzo Torri in the other Alfa Romeo. Luke Smith somehow already picking up a 3-second time penalty in this race.
And also Christian Dorman now getting up the inside of the Alvario of Jesper Lampinen. They're side by side. And Dorman makes it stick up into... Sorry, that was Lewis Marsh actually getting through on Jesper Lampinen for 12th position.
Lewis was involved in that first lap melee as well. Lost his front wing, pitted, put on hards. Be interesting to see how far he's going to take those hard tires. And it looks like a 3-second time penalty now for Christian Dorman as well. Meanwhile, we go back to the battle for 8th. Luke Smith still trying to find a way around Vincenzo Torri. And Sandro Dulius is within striking distance of Oleski for the 4th position. He's got the he's under that 1 second. Oh, and now we've got ourselves a 3-car battle as Vincenzo has caught Max Mulder. We've now got a 3-car battle for the 6th spot. And Vincenzo finds himself the meat in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich. And this is where I knew it was going to get messy, is when they were heading down towards Eau Rouge on lap 1 and there was 3 wide. It's impossible to go more than 2 wide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. I mean, I didn't see what happened, but I just came up to there and had nowhere to go. As Vincenzo Torre gets through on Max Mulder there on the back straight.
And it looks like we've got a car around. That looks like it's going to be Dion Stahl. Looks like he's going around at the top of Radion. Jurma Rusic losing a position out to Jesper Lampinen, and Vincenzo Torri going back and forth.
Yeah, that was Max Mulder retaliating on the Alfa Romeo and getting him back up the inside there. Yellow flags again.
Looks like that's going to be Jurma Rusic. And yeah, you said it. A lot of incidences this early in the race. And now we see Luke Smith trying to make a move on Vincenzo. And this 3-car battle is getting very heated. And then you've got the battle for 4th to pick up Sandro Dulius riding behind Oleski.
And also Logan Ron already 1.8 seconds clear of Nicola Falsesi. They had a very close finish last time out in Hungary, where Logan Ron just managed to hang on to the victory, just a few tenths in front of the Italian. And again, it's about those two here at the front. So we'll see if Nicola Falsesi can do anything to try and close that gap to that Haas car in front of him.
We're going to ride with Sandro Dulius here down the short straightaway. The DRS, not much of a help here out on the front stretch. And a 3-second time penalty for Jesper Lampinen, but we're going to jump on board with Sandro as they head out of the hairpin downhill towards Eau Rouge. And he should be able to make this pass, I would think, down the Kemmel Straight with the help of the DRS as he tiptoes it through Eau Rouge. DRS slot open. He lost a couple of tenths.
Luke Smith! Oh, he lost it as well on the top of Radion into the wall. He lost his front wing. He was very lucky to not lose a wheel there. That was a big impact for him, also losing it on the top of Radion.
And because of that, he also picked up a 3-second time penalty again. Sandro not close enough to make a move, and here we pick up Lewis Marshall. Looks like Lewis is all over the back of Ivan Brito, who Ivan's managed to make his way into the top 10 in points. Ivan Brito has struggled mightily this year, so a finish for him would be a great way to finish this race, but points would even be a more huge bonus for him. Ivan with a league-leading 7 DNFs, unfortunately. And it looks like Christian Dorman has retired from the session.
Yeah, it looks like he did retire in the pit lane after a couple of incidents for the German. So already down to 14 drivers.
Started with 18, we're down to 14 as we watched Lewis Marshall try to get around Ivan Brito. And Dion Stahl with a 3-second time penalty. So time penalties... Yeah, a lot more time penalties this early in the race than I would expect.
And Max Mulder and Vincenzo Torre nearly side by side coming through Blanchimon. Max Mulder got him back up the inside a couple of corners ago, and now Torre got him back on that very, very quick corner leading up to Blanchimon. And he's actually going to pull into the pit lane. Oh, and he clouds the wall there on the outside. He's going to have a bit of damage because of that.
And
Of
Lewis
course,
Marshall and Ivan Brito are side by side through the bus stop chicane. Lewis is going to push him wide. Ivan has to go outside the track lines to try and hang on to it. Lewis has got the DRS advantage. Ivan trying to come back to the inside, down the hairpin. Not going to be close enough to make it work, but he's going to have the DRS advantage now on the Kemmel Straight. We'll see if Ivan can hang with Lewis. They head downhill towards Eau Rouge. And Ivan's going to get a good run coming out of the top of Radion. The DRS is open, and he's going to be able to blow by Lewis Marshall down the Kemmel Straight, takes the position back. And that was a great lap by Ivan Brito. That is the best racing I've seen him do all years. He's still trying to hold off a hard-charging Lewis Marshall. We see the caution flag flies in Sector 2. Marshall to the outside. Ivan trying to push him a little bit wide. And look at this, Lewis Marshall does the crossover to the inside. It's now going to be the outside. They're side by side through this corner, and that's very tight racing, wheel-to-wheel action as they head down towards the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. Ivan's still hanging on to that position.
Yeah,
Lewis
great driving
from
from both of them. Oh, look at the Lewis Marshall. Yeah, he almost tried on the outside of the Ivan Brito to just hold them off. But yeah, good clean racing from both of them there. And very wise of him also to not stick it side by side through Pool there.
And now you're going to be full throttle from that corner all the way down to the bus stop chicane. There's going to be a little bit of slipstream that Lewis can hang on to. Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to make a move. This is your closest battle on track right now. This is great racing from Ivan Brito. This is the battle for 7th after there was another pit stop sequence from some of the other guys going off course. Ivan gives it a little bit of a... almost loses the back end coming out of that corner, but he gets the power down and he's able to separate himself just a little bit from Lewis. And now a half-second clear. Lewis and Marshall back under power. Got Mark Hutchinson on the live chat saying hi and welcome, Mark, as we ride along with Lewis and Marshall to the top of Radion. Down the Kemmel Straight. Looks like he lost a lot of time there. And Ivan Brito able to separate himself from Lewis Marshall. Kind of surprised by that.
And also Dion Stahl now closing the gap to Jurgen Marusic. He's got the DRS as well to the inside. And a very straightforward overtake for the Ferrari driver.
And Dion Stahl moves into 11th. Robin Herterstegen now into the 10th position. We're going to go back to that battle with Lewis Marshall and Ivan Brito, though. And Lewis all over the gearbox now of Ivan Brito.
Yeah, I think he's going to set himself up to have a good exit here on the run up to Blanchimont. Aided by the slipstream, he's looking to the inside. He's going to stick behind just for now. And Ivan Brito still holds on to 7th place. But yeah, these two are probably going to stay close to each other, of course, with the massive DRS and slipstream line on the back straight. It's very, very easy to stick with each other, and they almost run into each other. Wow, up the inside into the bust of chicane. That was a very unorthodox place to overtake, but great move there from Lewis Marshall.
Lewis lost the back end, or I'm sorry, Ivan lost the back end of the car. A great save though, and they're going to come out right, right behind Sandro.
Yeah, and of course,
Sandro managed to make a pit stop and get out right in front of them.
Exactly, and Ivan Brito is of course going to have the benefit now with the DRS on the back straight here.
And this is going to reminiscent of Schumacher and Hakkinen. Wow, and Ivan gets back by Lewis for the 7th spot, closes in on Sandro. And these two, these has been some really good racing from these two drivers. This is the best I've seen Ivan race all season. Trying to hang on to this position.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with that. And also, Senadrulis, he just came out of the pit lane, of course, on cold hard tires. He's going to probably lose a bit of time as well to those two. So maybe this could even become a 3-car battle before the Aston Martin and the Williams driver have to pit as well.
Well, Ivan's still.
Marshall to the
Lewis
outside!
with
Oh, there's contact as well! Blimey.
that was a bit advantageous. I don't think that was going to work.
I'm not sure if any of those picked up damage, but of course they are closing in on the end of their tires, and especially Ivan Brito being on the medium tires. So they're gonna probably...
Lewis was involved in the opening lap melee, and he already pitted for hards on lap
Oh, of course, yeah.
1 or 2.
Of course he didn't start on those tires.
So down into the bus stop chicane. We'll see if Ivan's going to go around at least one more time. How long? Oh, and he almost loses the back end again. Lewis Marshall powered down and the DRS. He's finally going to be able to get back out in front of him.
Lewis Marshall back up into inside in turn 1. He locks up a little bit, and that's going to compromise his exit, and of course give Ivan Brito the slipstream again on the Camel Straight. But of course Lewis Marshall, he did pit through those hard tires on the first lap. It's going to be interesting to see if he can actually carry those tires all the way to the end from there, because that's going to be a long stretch, but it might be possible.
Ivan Brito all over the gearbox, and he's already starting to make the move before the DRS is even available. And now the slot's open. Lewis is going to duck back behind him. Oh, and you can see the back end is extremely twitchy for Ivan Brito. Those tires have got to be worn out at this point. How long can he make those mediums last?
Yeah, I think those mediums are definitely going to start to wear off now. So I think Lewis Marshall might have the advantage now on tires with those fresher hard tires that are going to be wearing off a little bit less, of course, than the mediums. So I'm expecting Ivan Brito to also pit very soon, as most of the medium runners have already made the first stop.
Meanwhile, for anybody wondering, nothing has changed at the front. It is still Logan Aran is your leader, out in front by 6 seconds, followed by Free Abile, the Ethiopian in second, and then Oleski is running in third. Oh, and around goes Ivan Brito. It was only a matter of time. Brito loses the back end. His tires are completely worn out at this point. Oh, and here comes some more cars.
He's going to have to be careful there on those overheated tires as well. Probably it just stays out of the way, fortunately. So good on Ivan.
As Vincenzo Torri almost being able to pick up that 10th spot. And it looks like Oleski has dived into the pits, making his scheduled pit stop. And we'll see if Ivan Brito... Ivan should definitely come in at this point and swap these tires out. And whoa, a big move there. Now, Ivan's going to come in. Vincenzo Torri came from a long way back. Ivan almost loses the car in the pit lane.
Yeah, his tires are going to be knackered, especially after that spin as well, of course. So good on him for going into the pit lane to change out his tires for hards as well.
So we'll pick up Free Abile, who's become your leader after making his scheduled pit stop. Logan Aran has become in and out. He's out on the medium tires. Behind him is Nicolo Falzarezzi. Max Mulder is in the 4th position, but not everybody is done making their pit stops. Looks like Max still needs to make a pit stop, and Free Abile still needs to make a pit stop, and Dion Stahl still needs to make a pit stop. And around goes, whoa, is that Max Mulder just lost the back end of his car?
Yeah, like they had a clear bit of track there to rejoin, but yeah, it seems like a lot of drivers are struggling for grip here. At this point we've seen quite a few incidents already, and also Max Mulder losing his car there on his own. And also, Ivan Brito just exited the pit lane just in front of Robin Hersthagen. Of course, they're running inverted strategies, with Hersthagen having started on the hards and now having pitted for medium tires.
Nicolo Falzarezzi has closed in on Logan Aran. Free Abile heads into the pits.
Yeah, great pace here from Nicolo Falzarezzi. 1:46.0 now sets the fast lap of the race and is closing down that gap indeed to Logan Aran. This is of course the battle for the effective race lead, or it is the actual race lead now, as Free Abile has indeed also decided to pit. So Logan Aran and Nicolo Falzarezzi separated by less than a second. Let's see if Falzarezzi will have the DRS now on the back straight. It looks like he doesn't. He's just outside of 1 second window.
Yeah, it looks like Logan was able to get through Eau Rouge and the top of Radion just a little bit better than Falzarezzi. Falzarezzi probably picked up a little bit of aero wash heading down towards Eau Rouge, and that cost him just enough time. But here he's coming back. He's just on the cusp of that 1 second. And while all this is happening, Free Abile has come out just in front of Oleski, so the battle for third is on. Oleski just outside of that 1 second DRS zone.
You and
Meanwhile,
Marusic with the DRS. Sorry to interrupt there. Marusic getting past on Marshall there on the camel straight as well.
And it looks like Lewis Marshall pitted for medium, so he didn't need to pit, and he was running very competitive lap times on the hards.
Yeah.
Perhaps he burned him up a little bit, battling it out with Ivan Brito for so many laps. And here we go, Lewis Marshall down to the inside.
That's quite brave. I've decided to pull. He does make it stick. Very clean move there from Lewis Marshall. Oh, yellow flags. Max Mulder is out.
Max Mulder is retired from the session. And looks like these guys are going to be coming up on that here.
And a safety car has been deployed as well. Max Mulder there against the wall. He probably lost his car on his own as well. Again. Just like Tim Venting did at the top of Radion, sorry, and just like he did as well in Poole a couple of laps earlier. So, yeah, very unfortunate there for Max Mulder to get out of the session.
Right there, and that big right-hander. So this is going to tighten up the field here with 7 laps to go. We'll go back and pick up Logan Aron and Nicolo Falzarezzi. These guys are going to be battling it out for the lead. But again, we're going to tighten up the field here. What an incredible race so far. This is much like the Hungaroring. We see Nicolo Falzarezzi closing the gap on Logan Aron. Logan was out in front by 6 seconds before the pit sequence. And once it's all said and done, here's Nicolo Falzarezzi all over his gearbox. Riyad Bile going to be in the 3rd position. Oleski's going to be right behind him. Sandro Dulius has had a quiet day, which is probably what Sandro has needed after some of the races he's had lately, running in the 5th spot. Vincenzo Torri is 6th. Lewis Marshall's managed to get up to 7th. And it should also be noted that the top 7 drivers, none of which have any timing penalties. Jesper Lempinen is running in 8th. He's got at least one 3-second timing penalty, followed with Dion Stahl. And Luke Smith in the 10th position. Robin Herderstagen in 11th. Jorma Rusic is 12th. And Ivan Brito, 13th, still on track. He had that incredible battle with Lewis Marshall earlier on in the race. So we started with 18 drivers. We've lost 5. Max Mulder, your most recent DNF, is out. And a 3-second timing penalty for Dion Stahl under the yellow flag. That's gotta...
That's a bit unnecessary.
It's not an SRL race unless Dion gets a timing penalty.
Well, for him. But yeah, lots of drivers struggling here, and of course, yeah, we did saw Max Mulder making that mistake earlier on. He did lose it on his own here in the corner where his teammate is coming through right now, Luke Smith. But yeah, also Logan Aron still leading the way. He's only leading by 3 points over his teammate Tim Venting, but of course, as it stands right now, he's going to gain a full 25 points, which bridge the gap to 28 if he doesn't pick up the fast lap, and if he does, of course, it's going to be 29. So yeah, this could be a massive race for the championship, but we've got the same 2 protagonists again as we did in Hungary. Of course, Nicola Falzarezzi had a really strong second half of the season. He came from 2 wins in a row from Monaco and the round before that, and of course he did just miss out in Hungary, but if he can win today, then maybe he could be an outsider for the championship as well, because he is quite far down, but he's had such a strong run of performances that maybe he could be a dark horse as well if he can have a good result here.
And him and Oleski are still mathematically in contention
Alexi as
for
well.
the championship. So we see Vincenzo Torri's going to take a gamble. He dived into the pits, lost 4 positions, comes out 10th, but he took a gamble. He's going to jump on a fresh set of medium tires. So he'll have the freshest tires on the track. We'll see if that's an advantage for him, even though he's going to be starting in the 10th position at this restart. We continue to circulate under the safety car as we wait for everybody to get caught up to the queue. And that moved Lewis Marshall into the 6th position. Lewis Marshall, your last driver Now the top 6 drivers don't have any timing penalties. No timing penalty for Vincenzo Tori or Robin Herterstegen running in a 10th and 11th spot.
So it looks like the safety car will continue for one more lap to let everybody join the queue.
Yeah, I would say one more lap is going to be the most we're going to need. Realistically, waiting for Ivan Brito to basically get caught up. So Ivan he's had a tough year. Really league-leading 7 DNFs. He has struggled with the handling of this game, but unfortunately, right now running in 13th, but put on a really, really good show earlier, battling it out with Lewis Marshall, who Lewis is much more experienced, much faster, has a longer history playing F1 games. So Ivan did a really, really good job battling it out with him earlier for sure. Best racing I've seen out of Ivan so far this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great scrap. And Ivan, he's currently down in P19 in the championship, but it doesn't really reflect it because he does show sometimes, like here today, he is very decent driver. And I can hear an echo as well.
He's been far more consistent in years past than this season would lead you to believe.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but suddenly I can hear myself echoing, so I'm not sure if that's also hearable on the stream. That might be a little bit off-putting.
You don't hear it on the stream, but you do sound a lot quieter.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on my end or on your end. As long as it's not hearable on the stream.
The queue, so the safety car should come in this lap.
So yeah, let's see where Logan and Ron will decide to go, and how well Nicola Valtresi can respond to that. Of course, it's going to be crucial for Valtresi to stay close to the American and stay inside the DRS 1 second window. And as long as he does that for the remaining 5 laps, he can still have a chance of winning this race and get one back on Logan Ron, of course, after he just lost out on the win in the previous round.
Well, this should be very interesting because Logan and Valtresi are both very aggressive drivers. Niccolo proved that last time out in the GT3 championship. So he's still a relatively inexperienced driver, even though he's aggressive. Logan, far more experienced. He's got multiple championships from multiple leagues. But still, unfortunately, ending very badly. In a couple of races, sometimes he gets the better of himself, really.
Yeah, I wonder how many risks he is going to take now, because of course his championship rival is down and out, so is he going to settle for second place, or is he going to just go all in to try and win this race and gain the maximum amount of points over his teammate?
See, honestly, I think he would go for the maximum amount of points. As we go back to green flag racing, he's going to gun it just before the bus stop chicane. Try and get going before anybody else. Niccolo Valtresi falls back, and we've already got a couple of positions swapping. Dion Stahl and Luke Smith battle for 9th. And it looks like Sandro's getting around. Well, he got around, and then Friab got back around him. Oleski's up into 3rd. Caution flag sector 1 already. That's going to be Dion Stahl.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Dion. Meanwhile, Logan on half second in front of Valtresi.
Here's a battle that we haven't seen in a long time. Lewis Marshall and Sandro Dulius. But we're going to go back to the battle for the lead because that is going to be Niccolo Valtresi and Logan Aran, and a 3-second time penalty from Lewis Marshall. So Lewis getting the better of himself, battling it out with Sandro for the 5th position. Vincenzo Tori, meanwhile, who pitted for fresh set of mediums, has only worked his way up into 9th. Big twitch there by Niccolo Valtresi to be right on board. Had to save the car a couple of times through that sweeping left-hander.
Yeah, Falsesi pushing really hard to stay with Logan Ron. The gap is almost out to a second, and I don't think he can afford to lose that, because as soon as he's out of DRS, it's going to be very difficult to regain that and get back within a second.
He's going to need that DRS, and while he's trying to get back to within under a second, right behind him is Oleski, who is within DRS range, and he's bringing Friabile with him. So we're essentially going to have a 3-car battle for the second spot. These top 4 runners are all, and look at this, Falzarezzi manages to get within DRS striking distance. And Luke Smith finds a way around Jesper Leppenham for the 7th spot. Falzarezzi has just gone purple in Sector 3. Logan gets a really good run coming out of that hairpin. Caution flag flies Sector 1. That's going to be at the hairpin. Looks like that might have been Dion Stahl again. And Falzarezzi is going to have the DRS advantage as they come down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, he didn't have the DRS just yet, but he did close the gap down to 7 tenths briefly down to the slipstream. Of course, from the next lap onwards, we're going to have DRS again. So hopefully Falsarezzi can stay inside that 1 second and have something to fight with in the remaining 3.5 laps of this race.
Meanwhile, Friabile is closed the gap down to Oleski under half a second as he's trying to find another podium finish here in his SRL rookie season. You know, Friabile had started the season with SRL as opposed to coming in round 9. He very much could be a championship contender as well.
Yeah, Friabile, he's had a really strong performance in his first couple of races in SRL indeed. And he's definitely continuing to show that here, fighting for 3rd position here with Alexei Kovanemi.
Does he make a move as they head down into the bus stop chicane? Doesn't look like he's going to. A little too far back. Going to set himself up in the DRS.
Oh, there's a very close fight as well between Dion Stahl and Jurgen It's also Robin Herstag, and therefore P11. They almost touched the Dion Stahl, had to avoid to the grass and take out one of the DRS boards, I think. But he did manage to get through for 11th place. Of course, not for points. Jurgen is to the outside there, which will turn to the inside for the second bit of the bus stop chicane. Great move there from Jurgen up into 11th place.
And now they're 3 wide as they head down the hill. That's not going to work, as we saw earlier in this race. Coming out of the hairpin, looks like that's Robin Herderstagen. And they go single file coming out of the hairpin, luckily.
And also Vincenzo Torre getting through on Jesper Lampinen here on the Kemmel Straight. It looks like he's not close enough at the moment as Lampinen defends the inside line. And meanwhile, Lampinen goes around.
Goes to the inside. Friab gets to the inside of Oleski. That's going to pick up the 3rd position for Friabile. Meanwhile, Lewis Marshall is in 6th spot. We've got a car around. That was Jesper Lampinen. Lost 3 positions there. Drops himself to 13th. And through that melee, Ivan Brito finds himself back in the points in 9th position. He just brushed the wall coming out of that corner, though. Woo, trying to keep up with everything on track here with 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, Nicolo Falzarezzi is in the 2nd spot, 7 tenths of a second back from Logan Aron. The battle for the lead continues as we head down the back straightaway in the closing laps of this race.
This is going to be intriguing to see how this will play out there. Ed van Nicolo Falzarezzi so far still able to stick with Logan Aron. Just 5 tenths of a second, and of course he will have DRS on the next lap with 2 laps remaining.
Now, you know as well as anybody, DRS means nothing here on this front straightaway, unfortunately. But you want to try and stay within that gap to get that through the Kemmel Straight is going to be your best passing zone.
Yeah, you can see Falzarezzi had a bit of wheel spin that come out of the bus stop chicane because he just tried to drive down the corner as well as he could to stay with Logan Aron. He's going to set himself up here to get the slipstream and the DRS. Will Falzarezzi attack Logan Aron straight away here with 2 laps remaining?
Coming down to Eau Rouge. He's going to pick up a little bit of aero wash. Caution flag flies Sector 3. Don't know who that was, but it was a quick on-off. DRS slot is open. Falzarezzi not close enough to make a move, though.
Yeah, he was really able to close in there. I think Logan Aron probably saved up a lot of his ERS as well for that Kemmel Straight, and he's probably going to try and do the same thing for the next lap. 1.5 laps remaining here, and still just half a second separating Logan Aron and Nicolo Falzarezzi here, battling it out for the race win.
Meanwhile, Leski is down to less than half a second behind Friabile and Lewis Marshall has closed the gap to Sandro Dulius for the 5th position. But again, Lewis has got that 3-second time penalty, so even if he gets around him, I don't think he's going to have enough time to clear that 3-second time penalty. We go back to the battle for the lead. Falzaresi now 0.8 of a second back. Trying to make this track as short as possible. Used a lot of curb in that corner there. And if Falzaresi picks up a 3-second time penalty, it's going to be all over. Logan can cruise to the victory. And Falzaresi he's floating on that 1-second gap, just in and out of that 1-second threshold.
Yeah, he's just hanging on by his fingernails to Logan Ron. He's just outside of that second, and he might lose DRS here on the start-finish rate. But I think if he can pick up DRS for the comes straight, he might still have a chance to catch back up and try something here on this final lap.
It looks like he is going to be out of it, and Jur Marusic picks up a timing penalty. Meanwhile, Oleski still trying to find a way around Friabile for the 3rd position, the final podium spot. And Lewis Marshall battling it out with Sandro Dulius. This is a 3-car battle now because it is Sandro, Lewis, and Luke, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, and it looks like Logan Ron has broken him. It's 1.4 seconds now. It's going to be a mistake from Logan Ron that could allow Nicola Falzaresi to catch up again. But it looks like Logan Ron has got this covered for a 2nd race win in succession if he can hold on his last lap.
And Lewis Marshall to the inside of Sandro Dulius. Sandro hangs tough on the outside. Great driving as he manages to make it around. Lewis trying to cut back to the inside. Makes a little bit of contact with the right rear. And this is getting very tight. And Sandro does not need to do anything hastily. He can let these guys go and stay within 3 seconds of them. He does not need to finish in front of these two. Luke Smith and Lewis Marshall both with timing penalties.
A great defensive drive there from Dulius. It looked like he had a bit of a touch as well. They're coming out of the no-name corner, but he still hangs on to 5th place in this 3-car battle. Meanwhile, it is still just about a second at the front, so it looks like Logan Ron will win his 2nd race in succession, fighting off Nicola Falzaresi yet again.
Meanwhile, Sandro is still trying to hold off a hard-charging Lewis Marshall. Meanwhile, coming out of the bus stop chicane, Logan Aron with his 2nd win in a row, holding off Nicola Falzaresi as Falzaresi is going to get 2nd. Friabile able to hold off Oleski for 3rd and 4th, and here comes Sandro Dulius. He's going to pick up the 5th place finish, followed by Lewis Marshall, Luke Smith, and now the timing penalties are going to be assessed, and that's going to change things around. And look at that, Vincenzo Torri finishes 6th because of the timing penalties, and Ivan Brito picks up some points, finishes 9th. Dion Stahl manages to finish in the top 10. Jesper Lempinen, Robin Herdestagen, and looks like Jur Marusic is going to be the last car across the line.
He's got a puncture on the left front. He tried to stretch those soft tires, but he actually got a puncture there on the last lap. So Logan Ron, yeah, that's not in very good condition anymore. But yet another victory for Logan Ron as he increases his championship lead over Tim Venting to 28 points.
So driver of the day, according to the game, goes to Luke Smith. But I got to tell you, I'm going to hand my driver of the day out to Ivan Brito. Amazing drive today. A really good comeback race for Ivan. This is exactly what Ivan needed. And congrats to him finishing in the points for the first time in a long time. But the talk of the town right now, Logan Aron with the win, with the pole, with the fastest lap, hits the Grand Slam out of the park, and capitalizes on Tim Ventic crashing out early and gives him a little bit of insurance moving into the next round.
Yeah, this has been a big race for Logan Ron. Now having that championship lead is going to definitely... it might be a race we look back on at the end of the season where Logan Ron won the season at championship. But of course, it's definitely not over yet, and Tim Ventic will be desperate to bounce back, of course, trying to regain his title that he won in Season 5. Of course, Logan Ron is fighting for his first championship after missing out last year. But yet another victory for the American in front of Nicola Falzaresi. Another very, very strong drive from the Italian. in front of the Ethiopian Friabile.
Leski's going to come home fourth. Sandro Julius with a much-needed fifth place finish. Vincenzo Tori moves up into sixth because of the timing penalties. Lewis Marshall is seventh. Luke Smith 8th, Ivan Brito with 9th, and Dion Stahl is 10th. Those are your top 10 points paying positions, followed by Jesper Lempinen, Robin Herderstagen, and Jorma Rusic, and then 14th through 18th is all DNFs. That was Max Mulder, Christian Dorman, Tim Bentic, Cameron Weston Edwards, and unfortunately Nick Van Gelder, who has joined me in the booth for the remainder of this race. So Nick, it's always a pleasure to have you with me in the booth, but not under these circumstances.
Yeah, cheers for saying that, but yeah, of course it wasn't ideal. It was a very weird feeling because I just came back from my skiing holiday and I was just on time to wait for the race, and then it's just over already after 2 corners. It was very weird to to start a race like this in such a rush and then to end as well so early. But yeah, that's how it goes
sometimes.
sometimes.
A lot of effort for nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is going to do it for us. This has been SRL Season 8 on the PlayStation platform. Like, subscribe to and comment to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram, and we will see everybody at the next round. Okay.
Well, yeah, that was quite an interesting race. But yeah, just a shame that I wasn't being able to take part in it.
Honestly, that was a really good race. That was probably one of the best races we've had so far this season, for sure.
Yeah, it went by really quickly, actually.
Yeah, it felt a lot faster than they usually go.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's saving game. And now that this is all over with, I guess I can go watch F1 qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do the same. But yeah, thanks for inviting me to the commentary. And
yeah, man, always good to have you. Just not when you're wrecking.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope things are okay for you as well. Like personally, like I saw you had a new job, so congrats as well for that. But I saw it was also quite tricky sometimes.
Yes, it is. It is. Outside all day, every day, playing in the elements, playing with wildlife.
Yeah, I mean, it can be very tough, but I hope you're kind of enjoying it.
Hey, I'm having way more fun doing it than my last job, so that's the important thing.
Okay, that's good to hear, man.
So, alright, dude. I'll hopefully not talk to you next week.
Yeah. Alright, see you, man.
See you, dude.
Stupid.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I addressed Nick.
Yeah, well, my race ended very early.
Not only that, you ended someone's quali.
Yeah, that as well.
Again.
That was the reason was I went out to like calibrate everything just for an installation lab, but the thing was my wheel wasn't calibrated, so I turned, but nothing happened.
Oh my god.
Let's
put it this way, people were expecting me not to make it through the formation lap, so...
Well, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't you not making it through the formation lap, but 3 other people didn't. Nick was one, Tim did it on the final straight. Fucking somehow.
Oh, yeah, I did make the formation lap, I just had a bit of a half spin. But yeah, that was...
By the way, Nick, did you arc a brake going into Eau Rouge?
Well, I lifted off because I could sense that something was going on in front.
So
yeah, but then I suddenly had
to
two cars
on every restart as well in Eau Rouge.
Yeah, it was such a weird feeling, like coming into a race so rushed as well, just coming back and then having to end it like already after 2 quarters. But yeah, that's how it goes. But it
Welcome
was.
to what I usually think my fucking races are gonna be.
I was so glad I was able to make it in time as well. Like the update was just done, and yeah.
But you didn't make it in time, though. The
Well,
session
for
was
the race,
started.
for the race. It would have been better if the update took longer because I wouldn't have taken part in qualifying.
It also was better if you turned your wheel on.
Yeah, that
By the
could have
way,
also.
Max, you
No,
spinning me
no.
scared the living
Give him
days
credit. His
daylights
wheel
out of
was
me.
on.
Yeah,
It just wasn't calibrated,
yeah, exactly.
which is only a Neek thing. Only Neek could pull that
Exactly.
off.
I'm really sorry to you as well, but I'm really wondering now because I was like 1 point of a race ban. Could this give me a race ban?
Half a point.
Oh, it's
Could
100% a
definitely.
race ban. Like if it goes through, which Sandro's already voiced his opinion.
Yeah, okay, but like I couldn't really do much about it.
It's
Yeah,
your
but
fault.
but it's also the case of you kind of need to check that your wheel works.
If that's what I did,
Before
it was just a shame that Euro was behind me. But yeah, I should have just gone into time trial or something.
I mean, it's kind of the same as a control. It sucks that the game just didn't AI control it. Because you worked the menus, didn't you?
Yeah, because they did it on the controller.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
Wait, so you knew something was
No,
because
I
you
always
used
use the
to-
controller to use the menus because that's just a bit easier. And then I take the wheel when I go out. But usually,
Nick, every single time you open your mouth to add a new fact into the equation, it makes you sound worse.
yeah, true. But like my wheel, it was turned on. It was just like not, I don't know, like I hadn't
But
pressed anything
all
on it
you
yet, so
have
that's
to-
why it wasn't recognized.
all you have to do is press a button.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only issue there. Is one button press lets you know if it's calibrated or not.
Yeah. I kind of knew it. Like, I knew that I shouldn't go in qualifying, so that's why I thought I'm just gonna do an installation lap to make sure that the settings are right, that the pedals are calibrated and stuff. But I really regret that
shouldn't go
now.
out- I shouldn't go out and quali. Proceeds to go out and quali and fuck someone.
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't do it, but I didn't expect. Like, I even picked a time when there were as little cars as on track as possible. Like, with like 4 minutes ago when everybody came in, it was a quiet track, and it was just you who went out when I did.
It's funny, he asked like 5 times, should I go out or not? We all said no, and he still did.
Also, Mulder, that is an interesting place to crash. I
Yeah,
thought
it
you did
was.
it on exit. You did it in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a
And
nice
you
place.
spinning was the scariest thing I've had to witness going through Puon in my life.
Yeah, that was a shit place to spin.
You barely missed me.
Yeah, I was like, I have to go away. I was in the middle of the line.
Yeah, I saw like as soon as you started to like move, I was coming closer and closer. But 1-0 wings, baby.
Fucking 1-0, you fucking homicidal maniac.
I mean, you expected me to die, so...
I did, but that's because every single time you've used a normal setup, you have died.
That's why going against the norm is good.
Not really.
For
Because
me,
knowing
it
you
is.
now, you're not the norm, it's going to become the norm, therefore that's going to fuck up. And then you'll go back to normal, and then fuck up again.
Nah.
So well. So what's the next round after Monza, actually? uh, well, it looks like I'm going to be commentating again for Monza, or doing something else. But I guess I'll see you in Baku again. Oh man, I don't know why things like this always happen. Yeah, it's really embarrassing.
Fucking
You can
does it in
legitimately
quality.
hear the disappointment in Luke's voice.
He made it. He made it 2 corners. 2.
I mean, it's
He
better
didn't
than
make
one.
it a corner in quali, and then in the race he made 1 corner. Which, to my surprise, you exited turn 1 last with how much you took that. You took that so cautiously, and you arc braked Eau Rouge.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was expecting it. I don't know, I was just expecting to avoid everything, I guess. But yeah, didn't have that luck.
You were expecting Moses. He was going to Moses it, and instead he's just got a face full of Jesper.
It's amazing how far you can go from like 0 to 0 in the space of 4 seasons. Like I went
Oh,
from
bro, you're
being a champion to being
You are a
a
fat
back
zero.
marker. Yeah.
Excuse
That
my
is-
language, League.
It's even worse than me being shit at the moment.
Because you are
Bro.
like League. You are not totally shit. You're super incompetent.
Yeah, it's
What's
not
the
even like you're bad
difference?
at the game.
Well,
The difference is you're not bad at the game, you're bad in
Yeah.
general sense.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of
You're,
accurate.
you're not 3 seconds off the pace, but you might as well be with how you're racing. And I'll put it to you as blunt as possible, mate.
I don't mind you doing so.
Because don't worry, I've done that shit too many times to count. So I always look for.
Too many things have happened, Ivan.
No, I think Ivan's watching lap 1. Sandro, did he put tentative and you've slapped him for not putting
No, he-
accepted, or did he just not?
He just didn't. I mean, he did it when he like joined the session, but that's too late. He got maybe like 50 minutes before like joined the session.
Where? We're talking about qualifying or the
That
race?
came from the heart.
That's quali. That's 100% quali. Yeah, that's quali. That disappointment is definitely quali.
Even I wasn't driving, that was the thing.
Vincenzo.
It wasn't me in it.
It was the car, it was not him.
Yeah.
He wasn't cooking.
Vincenzo. Did I have a crush with Vincenzo? I don't think I did.
I almost.
That's a first.
Well, no, Vincenzo's apologising for something I don't think he did. Which is weird, because he doesn't apologise for a thing he does.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Oh, fuck you too, Ivan. Fucking, just does a nice dive bombing fucking straight at Vincenzo.
I go line. Enjoy the Alonso on pole today. Bye.
Cap. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave as well now. So I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks for Baku. Alright, bye.